76 now for vintage cricket between the Windies and England. It's day one of the first test as Viv Richards and his men begin to emerge as a world cricketing powerhouse. Welcome all to ESPN Classic.
The opening day of the first test match of the series between West Indies and England began at Trent Bridge in cool, overcast conditions. Not bad conditions for bowling, actually, and I suppose when Tony Greig lost the toss to Clive Lloyd that he wouldn't have been all that unhappy. It was likely there'd be some movement in the air and off the seam for his quick bowlers. He had the benefit of having Alan Knott in the side. Roger Tolchard was left out of the originally nominated side for England when Knotty declared himself fit. And the West Indians went in without Michael Holding. He was left out with suspected glandular fever. They played Wayne Daniel, and they went into the match without a spinner. We join play now with Mike Hendrick, bowling the second over of the day, and the batsman is Gordon Greenidge.
It's a short one, a bad ball, in fact. Really chasing it, but no chance of stopping it. Short again, hooked away down the deep long leg. Greenidge very quickly onto that. Coming back for the second. A good run in there to take the first one quickly, enabled them to come back for two. Snow to Fredericks. It's all the way through there. Still no chance of coming up. Little Nick. Not a possible chance to Alan Knott. Going well wide of the diving keeper there. But see the depth of that West Indies bat in there with Viv Richards, this great player to come in three, KALLICHARRAN, Lloyd, Murray, young Gomes, his first test appearance, Bernard Julian low down in the order there, such a good player, Holder, Roberts and the Daniel making up the pace attack. It's off an edge again, under coming round, so they get a single, and I rather fancy John Snow won't mind that. 25 minutes, he's been bowling at the left-hander. I'm quite sure he'd like to have a little crack at the right-hander whilst there's still plenty of shine on the ball. And that's dropping short of slip, catching the outside edge, no chance again. Hendrick there at slip, but the ball pitching some 2 yards in front of him. Snow to Greenidge. That's a bad one, a short one, and this boy thrives on anything short. Long hop halfway down, hammered unmercifully through the offside there by Greenidge. And there the two boys from Antigua and their supporters, Andy Roberts and Vivian Richards, both came over here in the late teens. Had a lot of coaching at Alfgrove School before going into first class cricket. Again, it's a short one, which Greenidge powers away without any bother at all. And the England bowlers really must keep it up to Greenidge. His weakness is against the one pitched up. Anything short on these English pitches, he puts away in no uncertain manner.
Outside off stump. It's a confident shout, but he's playing a stroke. Ball pitching outside off stump, and I suspect he was also across and outside. Yep. John Edridge has caught him. A good catch, that. My word, he took that beautifully. It was a firm hit, and Mike Hendrick has taken the first wicket for England on this cloudy morning at Trent Bridge. 36 for 1, West Indies, with Greenidge the man out. He wasn't quite over that forcing stroke on the offside, trying to hit it through point and got it a little bit late. And there it is again. It landed reasonably short. Greenidge not over it. You can see him cramp for room there, and John Edridge took a neat catch. waist height at gully.
Old to Richards. Short, beautifully put away. First really bad ball that Chris Old has bowled. And Richards there so quick, making Chris Old look almost like a slow off spinner. Well bowled. Really good ball there from Chris Old. Richards beaten again.
That's safe and very, very fortunate for Vivian Richards. He started off for the hook there. I don't think it was all that short. Not short enough to be hooked. Batsman having a look at it now. It's not very far from that spot. Back to where Richards was batting. It was just short of a good length. Didn't quite mean that. That's beautifully fielded by Close. Beautiful stroke, a half-century partnership. It went through Brian Close, but it was hit very powerfully.
Tony Greig to Roy Fredericks. Once again, that's through the gap, chased by Brearley. It's bringing up the 100, and it's going to beat Brearley through. So the arrival of Greig and Woolmer at medium pace has seen a change in the outlook too of Roy Fredericks. Started to proceed with a lot more confidence now. Moves into the 40s, brought up the 100 for his side. 164 minutes. But, quite an acceleration here since lunch. Last 50, a scum in 59 minutes. Played and missed there. This surely has got to be the tactic of Tony Greig and Bob Woolmer to attack these West Indians on and around the off stump. Woolmer to Richards. It's a good ball. Tossed high in the air by Alan Knott, asking for a catch. Brought absolutely no response from umpire Tom Spencer at the far end. It's a useful ball. It cut away quite sharply off the pitch. And that's it, he's caught. Nicely taken a second slip, and the ploy has worked off. Greig is successful, peppering that off stump. He's found the outside edge, and Hendricks taken a smart catch at second slip. That's really what Tony Greig had been working for right throughout that over. Looking for an indiscretion there outside the off stump. Fredericks, who'd allowed 2 or 3 to go harmlessly by in the end, couldn't resist having the little push. Getting an outside edge, and very smartly taken at second slip. So the second West Indian out, Roy Fredericks going for 42 with a total on 105. 42 is Roy Fredericks' top score on this tour so far, and he's got to be a little bit disappointed, thinking he'd weathered that early storm and started to look for some runs. So at 105 for 2, the second wicket going down. Tony Greig, the bowler, and as you can see, he bowled very wide. Really no need for him to play at it. If he'd middled it, he wouldn't have got any runs for it. And Hendricks taking the catch at slip. My word, he misses very little that's short of a length. Barely cracking that through mid-wicket. Each time any English bowler has dropped short to Richards, he's in position so quickly. all the time in the world to hit this ball well in front of square. Short again. He must surely learn his lesson. He's never bowl short to a West Indian batsman, particularly on a slow pitch such as this. Early sting has gone out of the wicket here now, and it looks absolutely ideal for batting. 33rd test match this for the little left-hander up the far end, and he really has got a fine test record. Average is almost 52 in test matches. Short again, and similar sort of treatment, and another boundary. 3 times now Bob Woolmer's dropped it short to Richards, and 3 times he's put him away through the identical position. It's a good on drive too by Richards, and each time Bob Woolmer has strayed from that necessary length and line, Richards has been so quick to put it away. Takes 3 there, which brings him on to 50, keeping up this wonderful run he's had in test matches. But short, pulled away again. And Richards has never yet missed out on this short ball. Oh, what a fine shot. No apparent effort at all that. Timed beautifully. And just flicked away with a turn of the wrist.
Shot, and pretty well fielded by Hendrick. He got the hand to it and took quite a bit of the pace off it. It's still going to go for 4, but he did well to get down to it and get a touch on it. It was a fine stroke from Richards. It's one of his most powerful shots today. Hit it on the up. Toss and 4 runs. Underwood not able to get to it, so 8 from this over from 2 spanking drives from Vivian Richards. A good shot. Beautiful stroke, that. A classic straight drive. That's 4 great shots in that over, not least of them that one from the last delivery. The full flow of the bat, and between the batsman and the umpire at the bowler's end.
Easy single there on the leg side to John Snow. West Indies winning the toss, 149 for 2. KALLICHARRAN 11. Richards 66. Off the edge, thick edge, no chance, and that defeats David Steele down on the 3rd man boundary. Tony Greig has been plugging away just on and outside the left-hander's off stump. He's bowled quite effectively from this pavilion end. He's placed now with Viv Richards, who's looked to be in really fine form. He's on 72 now out of this score of 160. Hammered away unmercifully through the offside. Really hit with tremendous power. And a feature of his play here this afternoon, anything at all short, has certainly got the full treatment. Into position, beautiful into position, full follow through of the bat. Chris Holt at the far end to bowl now his 15th over of the innings. And that's a great catch. No, it's in and out. Looked initially as though England captain was going to cling on to it. In anybody else, I don't think they would have laid a hand on it, but all the 6'7" height of Greig there coming into action. Richards on 79, facing Greig. Quite where he intended it. Stood up a little bit. Shows for David Steele, cut it off, but there should be 3 runs here. No need to run for that one. Over pitch ball. Big wide gap there between the bowler and mid-on. Richards finds it, takes 4 more. His 14th boundary, and moves his score on now to 86. Oh, what another good shot. Really was a fine shot, that half volley admittedly, but beautifully placed, perfectly put away by Viv Richards. Moving close to him, yet another 100. Going on the defensive here, a slip being removed, extra cover. Something more like a Sunday afternoon feel now. 3 on the off, 3 on the on. And that's short again, and it's getting the same sort of treatment. And quite incredible. It really is. 6 times he's dropped it halfway down, and 6 times he's been put away for 4. And John Snow's had a fair old rest back in the attack at the far end. And he likes to bowl here at Trent Bridge, going slightly down the hill here on the Radcliffe Road. And to bowl at Kallicharran with 2 slips. And that's 4 runs. Wide half volley. What a way to go to the 100. A really superb shot. Half volley, pitched round about leg stump. Fairly clattered again through that onside. So a magnificent 100 by Viv Richards. Bringing some more glory to the Antiguans who are here in full support of him today. Century coming in 212 minutes, 17 boundaries in it, and quite an array of glorious shots. So already his 600 in Test match cricket, and his 5th since January the 1st this year.
Safe again through that gully area, and before runs was a no ball called by Tom Spencer as well. And the 100 stand comes up between Richards and Kallicharran. Oh, that's well bowled. I think he was going to give that the flash through mid-wicket, almost irrespective of where it pitched. KALLICHARRAN is on 27. Richards, who has strike now, on 115. It's in the air, but it's quite safe, and it'll beat Underwood into the boundary. He really hit that one on the up. There's no waiting there for a half volley. He gave it a really good thump, and what a lovely way to reach your 1,000 runs in a calendar year. Great shot. He's very quickly onto that. So tried to dig it in. KALLICHARRAN didn't really bother to get his feet into position. Just watch the feet. Just a little shuffle with the left foot, which he rocks onto. Looks as though he might be a little bit off balance, but the ball coming off the pitch so slowly made up for that. Great shot. What a magnificent stroke. That is the stroke of the day. Wasn't a bad ball. And he just hit it straight over the extra cover boundary for 6. Picked it up beautifully. Lovely free swing of the bat.
That's just wide. A great effort there. Would have been a stupendous catch if he could have clung on to it. Took off. Great diving leap to his right. Got 2 hands to it, and he's getting a very generous round of applause. Not only from the crowd, but from Underwood as well, who appreciated this great effort by Hendrick to try and snap up a really difficult chance. It again with tremendous power. And any England goalkeeper would have been proud of that dive. Tossed high in the air and pulled away to mid-wicket by KALLICHARRAN.
Continues tomorrow at 6:30 on ESPN Classic.
Edge just wide of slip. Not far away from a catch there. Outside edge. He meant to nudge it in that direction, looking for the single to get his 50. He gets 2 and he goes on to 51. Been a supporting role this afternoon, played by ALVIN KALLICHARRAN, quite happy and content to proceed, take the occasional boundary, but nudge the singles.
Well, that is a very powerful position for the West Indians to be in. The loss of just 2 wickets. Fredericks caught Hendrick, bowled Greg 42, and Greenwich caught Edridge, bowled Hendrick 22, and Richards 143 with KALLICHARRAN 52. KALLICHARRAN very definitely playing for tomorrow. He wasn't going to throw his wicket away this evening, and he kept the thumb right on Vivian Richards and made sure he continued to concentrate. Very, very good batting pitch. There are plenty more runs there for the West Indians tomorrow, and I suspect also there'll be plenty of runs for the England batsmen. No real joy there for the bowlers today. They stuck to it pretty well. They tried to contain the West Indians rather than worrying a great deal about bowling them out, and from that point of view, they succeeded. They kept it around about 3 runs and over, but a long lineup there of powerful players for the West Indies still to come in and still to take to the England bowlers, and I should think the scoring rate will accelerate fairly rapidly tomorrow. 274 for 2. It's a great position. Good batting throughout the day. Solid batting, perhaps a little more solid than we're used to from the West Indian players, and the overriding impression that I will keep from the first day of this series between West Indies and England is the absolute brilliance of Vivian Richards. I saw him play in Australia. He played magnificently out there towards the end of the series. I missed him in the Caribbean when he played against India. It's worth coming 12,000 miles to see him play again today and to hit an unbeaten 143.